What if it is not laziness at all, but something quieter, something deeper? Mental exhaustion does not always look the way most people expect it to look. Sometimes it looks like a person who is still functioning, still showing up, still smiling when asked how things are going. But inside, something is running very, very low. Here are 7 signs that the mind is asking for rest. The first sign is that everything begins to feel like too much. Not the big things, the small ones. Replying to a message that arrived 3 days ago. Loading the dishwasher. Getting up from the bed after the alarm has already gone off twice. These are things that once required no thought at all, and now they sit there, feeling strangely heavy, strangely far away. This is not a character flaw. This is a mind that has been carrying more than it was meant to carry for longer than anyone realized. When even the simplest tasks feel like they require effort that simply is not there, that is the mind asking for something it has not been given in a very long time. Rest. Real rest. The second sign is waking up tired, not groggy, tired. The hours of sleep were there, and yet something inside still feels heavy by the time morning arrives. The body rested, but the mind kept going. It replayed the day. It rehearsed tomorrow. It held onto things that had no resolution, turning them over quietly in the dark. Waking up and feeling like the night never fully happened, that is one of the clearest signs that the exhaustion is not physical. It lives somewhere deeper than sleep can easily reach on its own. The third sign is that small things begin to feel enormous. A slight delay, a misplaced object, a comment that would normally pass without notice. Suddenly, these things carry a weight they were never supposed to carry, and the patience that was once reliable begins to disappear much faster than usual. This is not a sign of becoming a difficult person. It is a sign that the internal reserves have been used up, and what remains is a mind that no longer has the buffer it needs to absorb ordinary friction. The irritation is not really about the small thing. It is about everything underneath the small thing. The fourth sign is that the mind will not stop moving, even when the body finally goes still, lying down, eyes closed, body quiet. And yet the thoughts continue. Conversations from earlier in the week, replayed with different endings, mistakes that were minor but feel enormous at 2 a.m. Scenarios that have not happened yet, rehearsed over and over with the worst possible outcomes. This is the mind in a state of exhaustion that has moved past the point of simply being tired. It has forgotten how to stop. Overthinking at this level is not a thinking problem. It is a rest problem. The mind is looking for resolution in the only place it knows to look, and finding none. The fifth sign is that the things once loved begin to lose their pull. The hobby that used to feel like a genuine escape. The music that once created something real in the chest. The activity that felt like the one part of the day that truly belonged to the self. These things still exist, and yet something about them feels distant. Going through the motions is possible. Feeling them fully is not. This is not the loss of the person who once found joy in these things. That person is still there. They are simply exhausted, and exhaustion creates a kind of glass wall between the self and the things that once brought warmth. The warmth is still on the other side of the glass. It has not gone away. The sixth sign is a quiet but very persistent pull toward being alone. This is not bitterness. It is not unkindness toward the people nearby. It is simply the absence of energy that conversation requires, that presence requires, that even the gentlest social interaction requires when the reserves are this low. Being around others begins to feel like a task rather than a comfort, and the only thing that sounds genuinely restful is solitude, quiet, space. The mind that has been overstimulated for too long begins to treat all incoming input as one more thing it must process, and eventually it starts to withdraw simply to survive. This pulling inward is not permanent. It is the mind asking for the one thing that costs nothing and requires nothing: stillness. The seventh sign is the smile that covers something else entirely. The words come easily. Fine, good, getting through it. And they are not entirely untrue, because there is still forward motion, still functioning, still showing up. But underneath the showing up, something is running very close to empty. Saying the words has become easier than explaining what is actually happening, and so the words get said. And the day continues, and the exhaustion stays exactly where it is, unspoken and unaddressed. Carrying this quietly for long enough begins to feel like simply the way things are, and that is the point at which rest becomes not a luxury, but something the mind genuinely cannot do without. Mental exhaustion does not announce itself loudly. It does not arrive all at once. It accumulates slowly, in the small moments of pushing through, of ignoring the signals, of deciding that rest can wait until things quiet down, which they rarely do on their own. These 7 signs are not weaknesses. They are the mind communicating in the clearest language it has available, which is the language of slowness, of withdrawal, of a patience grown thin and a joy grown quiet. Rest is not something that must be earned by reaching a certain level of exhaustion first. It does not require justification. Sometimes rest is simply what is needed, and recognizing that need, naming it clearly, allowing it to exist without guilt, that is where recovery begins. Quietly, slowly. One moment of genuine stillness at a time.